Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm making a quick video to show you how to install a sub and amp on your 2014 to 2018 Silverado or Sierra with Bose. Now I've done a lot of research online, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and there's not exactly a video out there showing what all you need in order to make this work. Now I've chosen to go with a Pro Box sub. The box is made for these trucks. I have a DoubleCab, and it's a loaded box, comes with the amp built in. I'll put a link in the description for that. I know you guys know what this is. This is the amp install kit. This is a LC2I, and this is a remote bass knob that connects to the LC2I. The amp that I'm using that comes with my sub does not have a remote bass knob, and I really wanted one of those, so I decided to go with the LC2I. That way I can use the AccuBass feature and then also hook up a remote bass knob to it so that I can have that control. I know you guys are wondering what these two are, and based on the research that I did with the Bose systems, subthump.com, and I'll put a link in the description for it, sells these wiring harnesses that plugs right into your Bose amp, which is located behind behind the rear seat on the back wall. And then they also sell this ANC active noise canceling plug-in as well. So this thing right here, it's going to help with the active noise canceling. It'll completely eliminate that, so you won't have to deal with that. Now let's tear into the install. Okay, so we're here looking underneath the hood. This is the battery right here. It's on the passenger side, and then over here, based on some of the videos that I've watched, there's really nowhere to tap into the firewall on the passenger side, so I'm going to have to run my wire, and I'm going to put loom on it so that it looks factory. I'm going to run it alongside this wire right here and bring it down and tap into this firewall grommet right here. I'm going to move this out the way, and as you see that little nipple right there. I'm going to trim that with a razor and go straight through that, and then come out in the cabin right underneath right here. So as you can see, there's this big distribution block right here. I'm going to need to remove the 3 10mm screws to get to that. It's going to come out, and then I can feed the power wire through that, and I'm going to bring it through the kickboard all the way down through here. I have to remove those panels, and then bring it back here, and then bring it out the back of the seat, and then hook it up to my amp. Alright guys, so before I got started with running the power from the battery, I wanted to check out these pieces that I got from Subthump. Also, I wanted to make sure that I do have a Bose amp. I know my doors say Bose in it and everything, but this is the first time that I've been back here, and it's a pretty brand new. It's a new truck to me, so I wanted to make sure that I have the Bose amp. It was kind of a task getting this seat out. It's not made in the most friendly way possible. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 bolts that you have to take out, or nuts. The bolts are on here. One's a bolt right here, and then also you want to remove the center seat belt that's mounted right there. That way you can pull the seat all the way forward. The way that I got the seat belt out was I took all 6 of these off of the seats, and then I moved the seats forward, and then I was able to access that bolt really easily. Otherwise, you can't really get a power tool in there. You gotta manually crank it, and it's a beast. I initially thought it was over here from some videos that I watched, but this is the motor mechanism for the rear sliding glass. So where the amp really is located is behind this panel, and I had to rip some of this. It looks like it was made to be ripped out eventually, but from the factory you can tell no one has ripped it out yet. I ripped it out, and then behind it I see my Bose amp with the diagonal fins, just like what I was looking for. It's pretty much in the center, a little bit offset to the left, but it's pretty much in the center. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pinpoint which connections these harnesses go to, and probably hook them up right now, and then I'll start looking for a location for my LC2i. I'm really big into having a clean looking setup, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing that, and then I'll get back here. Okay, so I did run into a slight issue with installing this harness right here. So first off, right here off to the side, you see this oops. You see this wire? This is the ANC harness that I was able to tap in, and it only goes into one spot, and it's right there. The problem that I'm having is this harness. I'll show you it right here. This is the factory, and this is the harness. Now, when I go to plug it in, like this, it is slightly different. These two notches right here. One lines up right and one doesn't. So I've been working at trying to trim this one off so that I can get it in there. Okay, so I went ahead and trimmed that down, and I was able to snap it into place. I had to use some pliers and squeeze it in there, but it looks like it's in there in place. It clicked in. This is tapping into this right here, which is basically tapping into the signal, and now it's giving me 3 signal outs. This is still amplified, so I still need to connect it to my LC2i. Still need to connect it to my LC2i. That way you can bring the signal down and then send it over to my amp. But it says left rear, left front, right front. So these are my leads for my signal. I just have them coming out from back there, from behind the Bose amp. I'm gonna just leave that from back there for right now. I went ahead and bolted the seats back up. There's really no need for me to go back there, so just went ahead and put the seats back in, and now I gotta wait until I get my box. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and run the power wire from the battery, and I'll show you how that works. All right, guys, so kind of doing things backwards here, but I'm going ahead and checking to see this location inside the truck to see where I'm going to bring it through in the cabin. Now, this block right here, it's got a cover on it that's going to need to come off. It's got like 3 clips, and then it's going to have 1, 2, and then 3 screws on it. 3 nuts that are going to need to come out in order to move it. Can't really move it much once you do remove those out. It's more so just to kind of wiggle it. So as you can see, I was able to get that through there. It's not too difficult to do. From some videos that I saw, some guys said it was pretty complex, but it's not really that hard. What you got to really do is remove that inside grommet that's inside. You just have to reach your hand back in there and feel for it, and feed some wire through. I went ahead and fed the wire through that little nipple right there. I had to take some pliers and cut that off, and then I was able to feed it through. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lead, put some lube on it, and run it across over, zip tie it down, and then start working on connecting it to the battery. Alright, so this other stuff is pretty self-explanatory. Went ahead and got the wire loom on our positive cable right here. This right here, it's gonna be my inline fuse. I think I got about 6 to 8 inches on there. And then I went ahead and put the fitting on this thing. What I'm gonna do is, as you can see on the Silverado, they have fuses already on these ones right here, so you do not want to hook it up to these. What you want to do is see where the battery terminal is. It goes directly to that one, and that's the one that you want to plug it into. What I'm going to do is, because I want a really clean install, is I'm going to try to run it. See if I get this how I want it. I'm going to run it from right here down in here, and then I'm going to connect it to my positive wire down there. And what that's going to do is when I go ahead and put this cover back on, it's going to cover up real nice. But the thing is, it's going to need to be modified just a little bit in order to make this work. As you can see right here on the cover, this piece right here is going to need to be trimmed, and then also I'm going to need to trim a notch out right here, similar to how they trimmed the notch right here on the factory fitting. I went ahead and trimmed that little piece right there, and then on the cover just took some wire cutting pliers and cut that little notch out right there. It's not the best looking job, but hey, it's going to be covered up. Not too worried about that. Okay, so before I put all these covers back on, I wanted to show y'all what I had going on. I went ahead and hooked up the positive to this terminal right here, put some loom over this, hooked in my inline fuse, zip tied down my my wire all the way down here. It's got the loom on it, looks factory, and then it's running. Let's see if I can get that to focus. And then it's running straight through that little hole right there. So now I'm done with it underneath the hood. I'm gonna go ahead and start running the power cord to the back of the truck. All right, guys. So I'm here trying to run this wire to the back of the truck, and I ran into a problem that I think a lot of you will have, and I found a solution for it. It's this panel right here, and on my old Silverado I didn't really have that, so I couldn't figure out if the whole thing comes up or how does it work. But I saw on another video that it actually works. It's on a hinge and it folds back. So these little tabs right here, you gotta remove them all, or not remove them, but take kind of like a flathead screwdriver and pry them, and that way you'll be able to get that whole thing off. All right, so I was able to pop all those tabs and gain access to it, but as you can see, there's no room in here for a 4-gauge wire. So my initial goal was to try to feed it through to the back and not have to remove this panel right here, but it's looking like I might have to remove that panel to gain access to the back. There is a bit of space on the side of this. I'm gonna try that and come back to this video. Alright, so it's looking like it's not gonna work on the side channel, on the side of the channel right here. So I went ahead and did fit it underneath here, and as you can see, there's barely enough room for it. So if you guys are hooking it up the way that I am, where I don't have to run a remote wire to the back from the front, then you're gonna be golden. But if you're having to run a remote wire from the front, you're gonna have some issues running that wire, unless you run it, which you really should run it from the opposite side. But the way I'm doing it, I'm hooking it up from the back. Alright guys, so I'm pretty pleased with how I did this. Went ahead and snapped all these back down. What I did was I pulled this forward, ran the wire to the back, and then I just tucked it in. And I'm gonna do a little bit more tucking in right there, but it's really easy to tuck it in. And then we're gonna do the same thing in the back. So we're in the back of the truck. I got this panel popped up, tucked the wire in. There's not many wires in here, so it's a lot easier on the back. I'm gonna go ahead and snap these back down. And then all I gotta do is figure out how to get it there. I want it to look nice and clean, so I'll just tuck it in there. I might need to take that back seat out again. We'll just have to see. But as of right now, I'm pretty happy, because this is really the hardest part of installing a system. Getting that power wire from the battery, and I have just successfully did that. So I'm pretty happy. Alright guys, so there you have it. Finished product. We're not quite done yet, but got the cable ran. Put these back in, popped them back into place. The power wire, actually, if you just reach back behind the bracket for the seat, see that black bracket right there? If you just reach back behind there and further down, this panel on the other side is open. It has an opening. So just try to fish the cord through, and then reach back there with your left hand, and you can just pull it right through. And there you go. Look how clean that looks. My Pro Box box and amp combo came in along with the sub, so I'm really excited about that. A couple things that I did before. I know we left off doing the positive wire, but with the ground, I went ahead and scraped down to the bare metal the paint, and then I took a self-threading metal screw and stuck it in there along with the washer, so I know that's solid. I went ahead and hooked up LC2I. One thing that I noticed, I tried to join the positive and negative of the sub wires into the right side. Either side I could have done, but I did the right side, and it started giving me some weird noises with the speakers, so I decided to take that out, and that fixed my problem. I also took some wiring from my amp wiring kit, and I ran my 12 volt and my ground from my LC2I. What I did was I connected it directly to the 4 gauge wires that go right into the amp, and that provided the power for it. And then I got my RCAs right here. I'm fixing to put this box in the back of the truck and then try to hook everything up. One thing that I was concerned about, because I didn't see it in the pictures, but how were all the wires going to get into here? But they thought of that, and they put a little slot in here that comes out the bottom, and I can run all my wires through that. Okay, so I got everything hooked up. I just wanted to do a quick video before I button everything up. I've got everything hooked up to the LC2I. I got everything ran through that port right there, plugged into the amp. I'm about to tuck it all in and screw the amp into the side of the box. Okay, got the box, got the amp bolted up to the box. I just put 2 screws on there for now. One thing that I left out earlier was the remote. The bass knob, and I had 2 options with this. I did go ahead and buy the one that is the correct one for the LC2I. I have that sitting over there on the seat, but I just decided to go with the one that connects directly to the amp, just because it looked better, honestly. The LC2I one is pretty cool, but I'm just gonna do it the way that Pro Box made it to be done. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and run it. This is it right here. I'm gonna run it back behind the seat, down here again, through the front, and a pin I'm actually mounting it right here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me fix that blur. I'm gonna mount it right there, and let's see. Came with this little mount right here, so I'm gonna put it right there. As you can see, we have the finished product right here. We have about 800 watt RMS monoblock Class D amplifier, which is mounted to the side of my single 10-inch woofer. All this was made for the DoubleCab 14 and up Chevy Silverado. Have everything tucked away neatly, just the way I liked it. Actually, the box is made to retain this clip. It's got this little round part right here to turn that knob, and it's got a notch out in it, so you get to keep that as well. Went ahead and ran the bass knob all the way up here, fed it through the steering column, and I put it right there, so that's real convenient for me up front. A couple things. I talked to Pro Box when I picked up the box, and they're gonna help me tune it. I just got to give it a couple days. I played at 50% volume and kind of break it in, and then after that give them a call. Take about 15 minutes to go through a tuning process and get everything tuned just the way I like it. I have already heard it. Of course, I was too excited, so I had to hear it. Sounds great, better than I expected. I was thinking, wow, 800 watts, it's not gonna be all that great, but I'm telling you, this thing hits perfectly.